In the year 2077, the world changed forever when a virtual reality game spiraled out of control, turning Earth into a nightmarish battlefield. The lines between reality and the digital world crumbled and chaos reigned. Humanity began developing supernatural powers to survive in the ruins of what once was civilization. Amid the madness, one man stood out. Ya Xiao, Jiang City's most extravagant and powerful young tycoon. Despite the carnage unfolding around him, his only priority was safeguarding the woman he loved, Qin Yanran. He burned through his wealth, hiring 10 elite players to escort her, ensuring she had the best equipment, the rarest resources, and every opportunity to thrive. Even his last cent went towards securing a legendary artifact just for her. Whatever treasure or opportunity surfaced, he'd surrender it without hesitation, just to keep her smiling. And thanks to his unwavering devotion, Qin Yanran soared to the top, becoming a divine-tier powerhouse in the Dragon Nation. Today was meant to be their wedding, a grand celebration of loyalty and love. People gathered in awe, admiring the couple many saw as a perfect match. Countless women envied Qin Yanran, wishing they too could be loved so deeply by someone as rich and devoted as Ya Xiao. But just as the ceremony reached its peak, Qin Yanran embraced Ya Xiao with a soft smile, and coldly announced she would never marry him. Before he could react, she ripped his heart from his chest. Collapsed and bleeding, Ya Xiao lay in disbelief, trying to understand the betrayal. He had given her everything. Why? Staring at him without remorse, Qin Yanran declared that love couldn't be bought. He thought his gifts could win her affection, but she never returned his feelings. She accepted what he gave her, but it was her own strength, not his charity, that got her where she was. Then came the cruelest blow. She said, the only person who truly understood her was Zhou Hong, the man she loved. She'd give Ya Xiao's heart to Hong, so he could hear it beat every day. That, to her, was true romance. Watching as Zhou Hong stepped forward laughing, Ya Xiao's world shattered. Zhou crushed his face underfoot, proclaiming that everything Ya Xiao once had now belonged to him. And just like that, Ya Xiao died. Yet even as life faded from his body, the pain of betrayal burned brighter than death. He couldn't accept this ending. He couldn't forgive them. Suddenly, with a gasp, he jolted awake, eyes snapping open. He was standing in his past. Before him stood Qin Yanran, coldly demanding more money. She claimed she was only taking it to protect his dignity, warning him to stop bothering her if he wanted to keep his self-respect. But Ya Xiao wasn't listening. His mind reeled. This moment, this place, it was familiar. He had returned to the week before the apocalypse. He checked his card. 200,000 yuan, his old monthly allowance for Qin Yanran. Everything matched. This wasn't a dream. He was really back. Qin Yanran went on, whining that his classmates called her a gold digger, making her life miserable. But all Ya Xiao could feel was rage. The memory of her betrayal burned into his soul. She noticed the fire in his eyes and stepped back. What? Are you regretting giving me money now? Without hesitation, Ya Xiao shoved her aside. If you're only taking money for my own good, he said coldly, then you'll never get another cent. Her tone instantly shifted. Oh, come on. You came all this way just to argue? She said sweetly. Fine. I'll take the card again. Just this once. Scram, he snapped. Her eyes widened. What did you just say to me? I said get lost, Ya Xiao growled. Take off the shoes I bought you too. Leave them. Furious, Qin Yanran screamed, don't think money makes you special. I'll make sure you regret this. Even if you beg on your knees one day, I'll never forgive you. Ya Xiao didn't even blink. He tossed the shoes in the trash. If you really mean that, then do us both a favor and disappear. I've got more important things to do. He knew exactly what was coming. In 1 week, the beta version of the Apocalypse game would launch. For the first 10 minutes, a special recharge window would open. That was his window of opportunity. He called his cousin, Ya Lin, who had always wanted his shares in the family business. She was stunned to hear his voice. I want 20 billion for the shares, Ya Xiao told her flatly. No negotiation, and the money has to reach my account within 5 days. She agreed without hesitation, thrilled that he was finally handing over control of the Ya Corporation. He cut her off. No time for chatter. Call me when the funds are ready. With money secured, all that remained was to wait for the game's beta to begin. This time he would rise, alone. A week later, the Apocalypse beta launched. Ya Xiao logged in immediately and created his account. A welcome screen appeared. This is the Apocalypse beta test. Duration, 3 days. Afterward, the public release will begin. The moment his avatar loaded in, Ya Xiao was hit by a powerful sense of déjà vu. Once his class and name were set, he opened the recharge window and instantly injected 20 billion into the system. He knew that in the next 3 days, the in-game currency value would explode. The investment would multiply tenfold. Ding! A system message flashed. Congratulations, you're the first player to recharge over 1 billion. A unique hidden class has been unlocked. Wealth. Ya Xiao blinked. A hidden class? Just for spending money? Could this be the legendary god of wealth? Out of nowhere, a red frog materialized, puffing a cigarette and addressing him casually. What the hell? Ya Xiao muttered. I'm Abisu, the frog said. Your wealth mentor. Welcome, 709th god of wealth. Ya Xiao stared in disbelief. You're kidding. A toad? Insulted, the frog snapped its fingers, and the system went wild. You've obtained innate talent. Wealth rolling in level 1. Your gold increases by 1% daily. Innate talent. Penny pincher level 1. No losses on death. Items and coins are safe. Innate talent. Extraordinary luck. Level 1. Riches bring fortune. Luck skyrockets. Innate talent. Unmatched charm level 1. Generosity breeds beauty. Charm plus 50. Innate talent. Power of the wealth. God level 1. Spend 1 million gold for +1 random stat point. Max. 100 per day. These weren't flashy combat skills, but the potential for dominance was absurd. He did the math. With 2.2 billion gold in hand, he'd earn 22 million extra daily. That meant 22 free attribute points every single day, without lifting a finger. Now he understood the true power of the hidden class. This wasn't just wealth, it was control. In his past life, he'd wasted it all on Qinyan Ran. But in this life, as the god of wealth, he would make the world kneel. Ya Xiao appeared inside the starter village with no delay. He looked around and noticed something interesting. Hardly any players were present. It was the perfect moment to level up fast before the crowd arrived. But his choice of class wasn't helping. Beast Tamer was notoriously difficult to start with. Early on, he couldn't even tame proper monsters, making every encounter a risk. He needed a clever plan. His toad companion didn't hold back. Seriously? You picked Beast Tamer and you don't even have a weapon? The frog grumbled, clearly frustrated. But Ya Xiao didn't flinch. You just don't get it, he replied calmly. This class has the highest growth potential. You'll see. As he pulled up his stats, a sudden disturbance behind him caught his attention. He turned just in time to see a gang of level 5 goblin warriors charging at him. Completely unarmed, he had no chance in a direct fight. Run now, the panicking toad yelled. Ya Xiao didn't hesitate. He dashed off with the frog bouncing behind him. They barely escaped into the safety of the main city, avoiding what could have been a humiliating defeat. Even so, Ya Xiao's pride took a hit. He'd never felt this ashamed before. Players who spotted his Beast Tamer class gave him odd looks. Some pitied him, others just laughed. A few sneered openly, mocking him for walking around with a talking toad. Enraged, the toad barked, "Let's just buy a beast egg and get you something better already." But Ya Xiao shook his head. "No," he said, "I'm not interested in ordinary beasts." The toad blinked in confusion. "Then what kind of monster are you aiming for?" Ya Xiao smiled. "A god-level beast egg. There's one hidden deep inside a dragon's den." Without another word, he turned toward the Supreme Hall, the most elite building in the city, to recruit the mercenaries he needed for the job. The frog's eyes went wide. "That place? You're level 1! That's where top-tier players go, level 100 and up!" Ya Xiao didn't care. He walked in confidently. But before he could go far, a level 80 Grand Archmage stepped forward to block his path. "This place isn't for beginners," the mage said firmly. "Come back after gaining strength, and you'll need a letter of approval from the city lord." "I don't have a letter," Ya Xiao replied honestly. "Then you're wasting your time," the mage replied. "This is the pride of the empire, not some hangout for weaklings." Ya Xiao casually replied, "I heard you lost something recently. I came to return it." Suspicious, the archmage narrowed his eyes. "I didn't lose anything. Don't play games with me." Ya Xiao grinned, then tossed a pile of gold coins onto the floor. "Look closely. These must be yours." A flicker passed through the mage's expression. He quickly collected the coins, and his attitude flipped. Suddenly respectful, he invited Ya Xiao to a luxurious room on the upper floor, within the War God Pavilion. Ya Xiao chuckled. "I liked your tough guy act better." The mage smirked. "Money has its own rules. You may proceed." Even the toad was stunned. "Wow, you really can buy your way in?" Inside, Ya Xiao examined rows of guardian golems. Some were level 80, others an intimidating level 100. Their design was impressive, their presence overwhelming. Even the frog had to admit they were no joke. But Ya Xiao wasn't impressed. None of them were good enough. Then, a massive berserk blood warrior approached. "Who let a newbie in here?" he barked. "I'm here to hire a divine rank guardian," Ya Xiao said bluntly. The warrior scoffed. "Divine guardians aren't just liabilities. Nung around, kid, even a level 81 is overkill for someone like you, not to mention, you couldn't afford it." Ya Xiao smiled. "What if I paid 1 billion gold coins per day?" That stopped the warrior cold. His expression shifted. In a more civil tone, he said, "Well, nothing is impossible. There are always exceptions." He revealed that he knew of a divine rank spellcaster who might be willing to join, for the right price. Ya Xiao's eyes gleamed. A divine spellcaster was the ideal ally. They could shield, attack, support, everything he needed to dominate from the start. "I'll take her," he said without hesitation. The warrior reminded him that a contract must be signed, confirming the daily billion gold payment. Ya Xiao agreed instantly. Draw it up. I'll sign it now. Once sealed, a magic pulse filled the room. A blinding light shimmered behind Ya Xiao as a stunning female mage materialized. Dolores, the divine spellcaster. She looked him over. So, what mission requires my strength? Ya Xiao chuckled nervously. It's a little difficult. She raised an eyebrow. Difficult? In this village? Please. The Goblin King and his whole bloodline wouldn't last one spell. He didn't argue. Then follow me. They made their way to a nearby hunting zone. Dolores stepped forward and raised her staff. A flash of red light exploded into a roaring wall of fire that swept across the field, erasing a squad of elite goblins instantly. Ya Xiao stared, speechless. Her numbers were so high they looked like phone digits. Other players in the area froze, watching the storm of damage she unleashed. Is he hacking? No way, someone muttered. No hacks exist yet. That must be a high-tier NPC. Either way, they were in awe. Thanks to Dolores, Ya Xiao's EXP bar filled rapidly. In just hours, he hit level 10, gaining 10 free stat points. Then came another alert. He was the first in Novice Village 9527 to reach level 10, earning him 10 more bonus points. And finally, the system-wide notification. Player Nig. HT Sorrow has reached level 10. Unlocking leaderboard. He was the first in the world. 50 more bonus points dropped into his account, along with the rare title, Speed Ascender. The toad's mouth hung open. Already? Most people are still crawling at level 5? Meanwhile, everyone across the game world saw the alert. Night Sorrow? One player muttered. Who is that? Some guessed it was a GM testing the server. Others thought it was a hidden elite. But Ya Xiao didn't care. Soon, when the game merged with reality, they'd all know the truth. With his new points, plus the 100 free points from spending 1 billion gold through his God of Wealth class, he was already far ahead. Time to move forward. Hours later, they were still traveling when the toad groaned, Are we almost there? Ya Xiao pointed. We've arrived. Welcome to the dragon's lair. Elsewhere, a frustrated player was grinding relentlessly. Even after constant fighting, he had barely reached level 3. How is someone already level 10? He muttered, reading the announcement. Is there a loophole? He'd never heard of Night Sorrow, but now he was eager to compete. A worthy rival had appeared. Back at Village 9527, Ya Xiao and his companions entered Whispering Valley. They reached a specific point, coordinates 11254. He pressed his hand against a carved stone. Click. A hidden doorway opened. As they stepped inside, a bright red system message flashed. Warning, this zone is extremely dangerous. Proceed at your own risk. Ya Xiao just smiled. Dolores, the divine tier spellcaster under contract with Ya Xiao, paused at the cave's entrance. Her eyes narrowed as she felt the crushing pressure flowing from within. This aura, it's unreal, she murmured. Are you sure this is inside a beginner village? Ya Xiao gave a small nod. Welcome to a dragon's lair. Dolores blinked. How did you even find this place? He explained that he had no plans to actually fight a dragon. He wasn't suicidal. In his previous life, a level 100 berserker had stumbled across a hidden quest here. He'd claimed to find a dragon's nest in the novice zone, but nobody had believed him. He'd gone in alone and never came out. Ya Xiao had bought the footage from that berserker before he died, and in that shaky recording, he'd glimpsed something priceless, a dragon egg. Now, he was here to take it. Both Dolores and the Toad Abisu were stunned. You want to steal a dragon egg? Dolores asked, half in disbelief. She warned him that stealing an egg was often more dangerous than killing the dragon itself, but Ya Xiao didn't flinch. That's why I bray. Ought you? You're a god-tier sorceress, right? This'll be nothing for you. They pushed deeper into the glowing cavern. Soon, the silhouette of a colossal creature came into view, a radiant dragon, asleep. Dolores froze. That's not just any dragon. That's a tier 5 radiant dragon, she whispered. Even a tier 3-1 could wipe out a full guild. This thing's on a completely different level. Ya Xiao's eyes lit up. If that was the parent, then its egg was priceless. But Dolores shook her head. Not even for double my fee, she said flatly. That's suicide. I'm not asking you to fight it, Ya Xiao replied. Just distract it. Give me a few moments to grab the egg. She hesitated. The risk was enormous. Ya Xiao tripled her pay. Fine, I'll stall it, but only for 3 minutes, she said, voice cold. No more. She began casting buffs on him, each with a 3-minute duration, and looked him in the eye. Whatever happens next is on you. At that moment, Ya Xiao realized how terrifyingly powerful she truly was. Sister Tao, Dolores' nickname in the game, rose into the air, unleashing a storm of icy arrows at the dragon, drawing its rage toward her. Now! She shouted. Ya Xiao slipped behind the beast, inching toward the massive egg glowing faintly at the back of the cavern. Don't let it notice me, he whispered. If I get caught, we're finished. But Sister Tao's mana was draining fast. I can only keep this up for 90 more seconds, she called. Ya Xiao reached the egg and tried to lift it, but it was far heavier than he expected. Ebisu, help me, he hissed. The toad rushed to assist and knocked over a pile of ancient armor. A deafening crash echoed through the chamber. The dragon's eyes snapped open. No! Ya Xiao shouted. Snatching the egg, he bolted as the dragon roared with fury. Sister Tao, out of time and mana, summoned one last desperate ice wall to delay the beast's advance. It barely slowed it. Then came the blast. A torrent of searing light, the Dragon King's breath. Run! Tao screamed. I'm out of juice! Even she fled. Ya Xiao was stunned. You're leaving too? Our deal was 3 minutes, she yelled. I'm strong but not immortal. Together, they barely made it outside before the cavern erupted in flames behind them. Gasping for air, they collapsed just beyond the dungeon's mouth. Tao glanced at the egg, still clutched in Ya Xiao's arms. If that really came from a Tier 5 dragon, this risk was worth it, she admitted. Then she turned to him, expression firm. Now don't forget my commission. Ya Xiao nodded. I'll pay right away. Her attitude softened. You're not bad, she said. Her favorability toward him had jumped to 60. With that settled, Ya Xiao turned his focus to the egg. The toad leaned over, teasing. Let's hope this thing doesn't hatch into something ugly. You just spent 300 million for my sister to babysit it. Ignoring the frog, Ya Xiao gently placed his hand on the egg's shell. Crack. A fissure split across the surface. The egg trembled, and finally burst open. A small green dragon emerged, blinking. But something felt wrong. It didn't look like a radiant dragon at all. Was the radiant dragon cheated on? The toad asked, half joking. Curious, Ya Xiao checked the hatchling's status and froze. This wasn't a radiant dragon. It was an azure sky dragon, a mythical tier beast. Level 1, and already unbelievably strong. Its base stats were beyond anything he'd seen. 500 strength, constitution, agility, and spirit. But it wasn't just numbers. The hatchling had terrifying talents too. The first, absolute suppression. As a mythical beast, it automatically suppressed anything below its tier. It dealt 30% more damage and took 30% less from non-mythical foes. The second, Dragon King's Domain. The Azure Sky Dragon, ruler of its kind, dealt 50% bonus damage to all dragons and resisted 50% from them in return. The third, Mythical Bloodline. Its body was incredibly resilient. With every level up, it gained bonus stats and it regenerated 200 HP and MP per second. Then there were its skills. First, Earth-Shaking Dragon Roar, a massive AoE stun. It shook the battlefield, stunning every creature within 20 meters for 1.5 seconds. Cooldown 30 seconds. Cost 2,000 mana. Second, Dragon King's Breath, a single target flamethrower dealing 500% of its strength as true damage. It couldn't be dodged. Cooldown 5 seconds. Cost 1,000 mana. Third, Dragon King's Wrath, a unique, terrifying ability. The dragon entered a berserk state, unleashing percentage-based true damage tied to the enemy's own stats, strength plus constitution, against all creatures in a 50-meter radius. Cooldown 30 days. After activation, the dragon's stats dropped permanently by 5% and it fell into a 5-day sleep. Even at level 1 with 500 strength, its basic breath could dish out over 2,500 damage, a number no early player could survive. Sister Tao smiled. Incredible. If this little guy matures, it'll be unstoppable. Ya Xiao grinned. I'll name him Little Gray. The toad nodded. He's definitely yours, not mine. But then Ya Xiao noticed something. Hey, what's that in your hand? Ebisu held a strange emblem. Oh, this? I picked it up in the nest, he said casually. Tao looked closer. That might be a Calamity tier badge. But Ya Xiao scanned it and saw the truth. It was called Mark of Ferocity. Not quite Calamity tier, but still insanely powerful. Its passive, Ferocity's Might. All stats, plus 10. All skills gain crit chance. Base crit rate, plus 20%. Crit damage, plus 100%. It's active, Ferocious Massacre. It unleashed spirit-based true damage at 1,000% scaling. Bonus crit chance. If crit exceeded 100%, the excess converted into extra crit damage. If a target's HP dropped below 20%, the skill had a guaranteed instant kill effect. Otherwise, a 5% chance still existed. Cooldown, 10 days. Tao stared. That's monstrous. This might as well be a Calamity tier item. Ebisu puffed up. Well, I did risk my life getting it. Maybe hand it over? Ya Xiao raised a brow. Oh, so now you remember your part? Funny, I recall you nearly getting us both killed, tripping over armor after nearly dying in the dragon's lair. Ya Xiao insisted that the mark Abisu had picked up was his reward for the risk, but the toad wasn't convinced. If you're keeping it, then I want 10,000 coins a day, Ebisu demanded. Ya Xiao tried to sweet-talk him. Come on, we're brothers. Don't bring money into this. The toad huffed. System flashed a new prompt. Hidden quest triggered. The king of ferocity. The forbidden adjudicator, devoured by the abyss. Bearer of the mark, seek the fang of ferocity. Staring at the screen, Ya Xiao blinked. Fang of ferocity? Tao raised an eyebrow. She knew that name. It's a legendary assassin weapon, she explained. A god-tier dagger made from an abyssal beast's fang, extremely destructive and clearly connected to your badge. She warned him, though, reaching the Abyss continent wasn't going to be easy. That road was long and perilous. Before Ya Xiao could ask for more, a countdown appeared. His session was ending in 3 minutes. It was time to log out. Sister Tao opened a portal back to Supreme Hall. I didn't expect a hidden dungeon like this in the starter area, she said. If you ever need a hand again, I'm available. Ya Xiao thanked her and exited the game. After all, the game was still in beta. There was no point in overexerting himself. The next day, Ya Xiao sat at home scrolling through gaming news. Doomsday had exploded across the internet. Forums were on fire with discussion. It topped every trending list. Players everywhere were complaining about the brutal difficulty. Some had been grinding for hours and still hadn't reached level 2. Death penalties and stat resets were making people rage quit.
Chichao.
One name kept popping up, Ya Xiao, the mystery player who reached level 10 in a single day. While others struggled to get out of the tutorial, he'd rocketed to the top. Many accused him of hacking, but darker news was circulating too. On the game's first day, several players collapsed after logging out. Reports of physical side effects were piling up, headaches, fatigue, even organ failure. Some ended up hospitalized. Multiple countries issued emergency warnings about the game. A few even banned it entirely. Ya Xiao read the news and smirked. They're scared now, but once this game fuses with reality, they'll all regret it. His phone buzzed. Qin Yan ran. He answered out of curiosity. She was calling from Manhwa Hospital, speaking coldly. Bring food for Zhou Hong, cover his hospital fees. Do that, and I'll pretend none of this ever happened. Without saying a word, Ya Xiao hung up and blocked her number. Meanwhile, in the hospital, Zhou Hong turned to Qin Yan Ran. You think he'll actually come? Yan smiled confidently. Yao still loves me. If I call, he'll show, like a trained dog. They seemed pleased with themselves until a doctor entered. You'll need to pay the bill and leave by the end of the day, he said. Why? Yan snapped. You kicking us out because we're not rich? No, the doctor replied. We're overwhelmed. Dozens of players who logged out of Doomsday are in critical condition. We need the beds. Yan scoffed. So poor people's lives don't matter, huh? Pay your bill, the doctor repeated. You're being discharged. Zhou Hong quickly stopped her from arguing. He's right. This game, it's more than just a game. He turned to Yan. Can you cover the cost? She looked away. I don't have anything. You used to get 200,000 yuan a month from him, right? Yan scowled. I won't touch his dirty money. I'm not some doll he can buy. Frustrated but desperate. Zhou Hong said, Then message him. I want to set up a Doomsday gaming studio. For him, that kind of cash is nothing. Yan sighed. Fine. I'll send him a sweet message. He'll come crawling back. Back at Ya Xiao's home, he stirred from sleep. The game timer buzzed. Time to log in again. He dove back into Doomsday. Novice Village greeted him, and he quickly summoned Abisu. Let's level up fast and move on. While most players were still stuck below level 2, Ya Xiao stood out like a god among mortals. A crowd formed instantly. That's the guy from the leaderboard, players whispered, took pictures and tried to talk to him. Some even offered party invites, with cute girls attached. Though Ya Xiao changed into a masked outfit to avoid attention, his level floated above his head like a beacon. To escape the mob, he sprinted toward the edge of the village, but the crowd followed. Determined to catch up, they trailed behind even as he passed through the outer gates. To lose them, he rushed into a trial zone, level 10 minimum. For the newbies chasing him, it was a death trap. Sure enough, they stopped at the entrance, unwilling to risk it. Ya Xiao chuckled. At least they're not completely dumb. He continued alone until a grand structure loomed ahead, a castle guarded by a stern soldier. This isn't a place for someone your level, the guard warned. I'm here to begin the advancement trial, Ya Xiao replied. Surprised, the guard asked, You have a team? No, I'm solo, the guard scoffed. Even on normal difficulty, going in alone is suicide. But Ya Xiao wasn't fazed. I'm not dying today. The guard muttered something about reckless kids and stepped aside. Ya Xiao stood on the magic circle. A menu appeared. Choose difficulty. Normal, hard, nightmare, hell, abyss. He didn't hesitate. Abyss, solo, confirm. The guard's jaw nearly dropped. A level 10 player choosing abyss difficulty? Back in his past life, Ya Xiao had attempted this dungeon with full bronze armor and an elite team and still barely survived. mostly because he had to babysit Qin Yan. This time, he'd do it right. He summoned Little Gray, his mythical tier Azure Sky Dragon. Its presence alone was enough to shatter expectations. Suddenly, a shadow moved behind him. A mutated snow wolf appeared. Level 10, 5,000 HP, 5,000 MP, Strength 300, Constitution 500, Agility 300, Spirit 500, an Abyss-class monster. Even Ya Xiao felt a chill. This wasn't just a monster, it was a one-way ticket to the grave for most players. Little Gray, attack! The dragon launched a Dragon King's breath, melting 10,500 HP instantly. Claws followed, slashing another 500-600 off. The wolf howled and entered a berserk state. But Little Gray was faster. Earth-shaking dragon roar. The ground trembled. The snow wolf froze, stunned. A second Dragon King's breath finished it off. The beast fell, and Little Gray glowed with power, leveling up 4 times in one shot. Ya Xiao grinned. The path to domination had only just begun. The growth speed of mythical beasts was nothing short of terrifying. Little Gray had already unlocked another SE sheet. Kill. This one even more powerful than before. The Snow Wolf hadn't just been a challenge, it had dropped exceptional loot. Among the rewards, a Blood Wolf Fang Dagger and a Snow Wolf Bow, both dark gold grade. Ya Xiao was stunned. Abyss difficulty clearly came with perks. These boss drops were leagues above what he'd seen in his previous life. As he was examining the new gear, another threat emerged from the shadows, a demonized monster with equally monstrous stats. Without waiting, he ordered Little Gray into action. The fight lasted for more than 30 exhausting minutes. After a fierce and grueling battle, they finally defeated the beast, a dark abyss tiger. The spoils included more high-grade equipment, a pitch-black one-handed sword, and a spiked tiger shield. All dark gold. Even Ebisu managed to snag a few pieces for himself. With this gear, they could earn a tidy sum once they returned to the city. But Ya Xiao had no plans to go back. Not yet. "I'm going to challenge the trial boss," he declared. The toad's eyes widened. "What? Are you crazy? You're only level 7. Yao shrugged. "Don't worry. In my past life, the Abyss Trial's final boss was just Lord Tier. With Little Gray's strength, enough to take down multiple elite monsters, defeating one more shouldn't be a problem. Watch and learn," he said. "Time to show you how a real pro plays." Ebisu was far from convinced. Soon they arrived at the dungeon's deepest point. A system warning popped up. Extreme danger zone. Proceed with caution or retreat immediately. But Ya Xiao refused to retreat. In his former life, he'd been honorable but naive. His love had blinded him, and it cost him everything. This time, he wasn't just a player. He was the Abyss Envoy, chosen by the Apocalypse, and he wasn't backing down. At the chamber's center, seated atop a throne of black crystal, was the boss, the Abyss Wanderer King. Its presence was overwhelming. Most of its stats and skills were marked with question marks. His level wasn't high enough to view them. They'd expected a Lord-tier enemy. Instead, they found a king. Even Ya Xiao was surprised. In my past life, this boss was definitely Lord level. Why the change? The king's spirit stat alone read 5,000. No strength, no agility, meaning it was a pure magic type. Its regular attacks were slow and weak, but if even one spell landed, he was toast. Realizing how dangerous this was, Ya Xiao gave Little Gray precise instructions. "Stay moving. Hit and reposition. Don't get caught in a drawn-out fight." Little Gray obeyed. Dodging and striking, the dragon danced around the boss, denying it any time to cast. Ya Xiao watched with satisfaction. So far, so good. But then something felt off. The boss wasn't fighting back, it was just staring at him. That's when he realized. It was charging a massive spell, aimed directly at him. "Move!" Ibisu screamed. Ya Xiao rolled aside just in time, narrowly avoiding a deadly blast. But the king didn't stop. Every attack was targeting him specifically. "Why is it only coming after me?" He called Little Gray to draw aggro. The dragon roared, firing a Dragon King's breath that slammed the boss into a distant wall. But Ya Xiao was already gasping for air. His stamina was nearly drained. If this dragged on, he wouldn't last. The toad, watching anxiously, shouted, "Next time you invite me somewhere this suicidal, I'm staying home." Then the system alerts appeared. Trial complete, Abyss. Difficulty cleared. Little Gray has reached level 10. First clear bonus, +5 to all attributes. Ya Xiao collapsed to his knees in relief. He turned to the toad. "Coward." Ibisu shot back. "Who was the one running like a chicken when the boss targeted him?" Ignoring the insult, Ya Xiao approached the throne to inspect the loot. Suddenly, a worldwide system announcement echoed across the game. Player Ya Xiao from Dazia Nation has cleared the Abyss Trial, first player in history to do so. Legendary title unlocked, Abyss Envoy. The player base was stunned. The game had been out for just 2 days, and someone had already conquered Abyss difficulty? Players from Dazia Nation were especially shocked. Their homeland now had the top-ranking player, and the entire leaderboard displayed his name. Large guilds immediately began looking into him, eager to recruit this mysterious powerhouse. Back in Beginner Village 9527, excitement spread. Their own village had birthed the first true legend. Elsewhere, Zhou Hong had returned to the game, freshly discharged from the hospital. "Yan," he said, "if we get close to this guy, we'll become famous too." "You think a video game can change our lives?" she asked. "I do," he replied. "This game is different. I can feel it. Did you message Yao for help?" "No," Yan said coldly. "I won't stoop that low. If you want to, go ahead, but don't expect me to beg." Zhou sighed. "Fine. Let's just enjoy the game together then." He offered to show her the ropes, and they logged in as a pair, trying to grow stronger. Meanwhile, Ya Xiao was still catching his breath beside the fallen boss. He checked the loot and frowned. Only a single item dropped. A fragment. Item. Abyssal stone fragment. Grade. Unknown. Details. Unidentified. He'd never seen it before. Not in this life or the last. No immediate use came to mind, so he pocketed it and headed back toward the surface. The next priority was leaving the beginner zone and heading to the main city. Upon exiting the dungeon, he found the trial gate guard waiting in disbelief. "You actually cleared the Abyss trial? Alone?" "Open the portal to Windleaf City," Ya Xiao said. "I'm done here." The guard nodded, quickly activating the teleportation circle. "You've earned it." As a reward, he handed Ya Xiao a guide token, allowing free travel to and from the capital, and offered congratulations. But there was more. Because Ya Xiao had cleared the Abyss difficulty advancement and trial, he was also awarded an epic item, Badge of Valor, only given to those who passed the Inferno level trial, a feat considered nearly impossible. Equipping it granted +20 to all base stats and +3 to charisma. It also unlocked a passive skill, Valor's Might. When HP falls below 30% strength, increases by 10% for 60 seconds. Ya Xiao studied the badge, clearly impressed. With his new loot in hand, he stepped into the portal and reappeared in the capital, Windleaf City. System notice: you've entered a new area, Windleaf City. He looked around. Silence. In his previous life, the job change square here had been jam-packed with hundreds of players. But arriving this early, he was alone, and far ahead. Without delay, Ya Xiao set out with a goal in mind, to find the elusive Beastmaster Guttle. Toto, his companion, scratched his head and asked, "Why are we looking for a Beastmaster? Aren't you already a beast tamer?" Ya Xiao simply smiled. "You'll see soon enough." Before long, they arrived at the designated spot, where an older man sat quietly by the gate. Ya Xiao approached him confidently. "I'm here for a class transfer." The old man didn't even look up. "Go bother someone else." Unfazed, Ya Xiao continued, "I'm here to become a beast whisperer. Only you can approve it." That caught the man's attention. He glared up. "Beast whisperer isn't a class just anyone can have. If you want in, prove it. Bring me 100 demon wolf cub eyes from the outskirts." Toto was stunned. "How do you even know about this quest?" Ya Xiao had no intention of hunting that many elite monsters. He sighed and pulled something from his pocket. "I think there's been a misunderstanding," he said, holding up his badge of valor. "Do I really need to kill wolves to prove myself?" The old man froze, eyes locked on the badge. You cleared the Inferno level advancement trial?" "No," Ya Xiao replied calmly. "I cleared Abyss difficulty." Now the old man was truly speechless. "Abyss? Alone?" Ya Xiao nodded. "Solo clear." Suddenly the man's tone flipped entirely. He chuckled awkwardly. "I could tell from the start. You're no ordinary youth, a true genius, a dragon among men." Ya Xiao blinked, half amused by how fast the man had changed his attitude. "Then," he asked, "can I transfer now?" The old man nodded. "Almost. But first, show me the beast that helped you survive an Abyss trial." Ya Xiao summoned Little Gray. The man took one look and broke into a cold sweat. "A god-tier hatchling? In all my years, I never thought I'd see one." He stepped back, shaking his head. "You can't become a beast whisperer. That class is beneath your companion. You deserve more." Instead, he handed Ya Xiao a sealed letter. "This is a referral to the Royal Chief Beast Tamer. Only he can train someone like you." New hidden quest unlocked. Dragon's Whisper. Armed with the letter, Ya Xiao prepared to head toward the royal city. As they walked, Toto was still in awe. "A hidden class? How do you keep finding these?" Ya Xiao just grinned. "We've got one more thing to do first." "More?" Toto groaned. "What now?" "You'll see." They arrived in front of a massive, cathedral-like building. Standing outside was a stunning noblewoman, surrounded by guards. Toto nudged him. "What? Are you planning to flirt your way into her vaults?" Ya Xiao chuckled. "That's Lady Sharelle. She's the widow of the previous city lord. But no, I'm not here to charm her." As he approached, a guard stopped him. "State your business." Ya Xiao bowed respectfully. Lady Shirel, you seem troubled. Is there something I can help with? She sighed. I lost a very precious item. If you can find it, I'd be grateful. New hidden mission unlocked. Shirel's request. Retrieve the flower. Ya Xiao nodded. Leave it to me. They headed into the city, and Toto was already confused. A flower? Why are we not checking gardens? This isn't a normal flower, Ya Xiao replied cryptically. Toto squinted. Do you even know where to look? Ya Xiao led them to a tool shop. Seriously? Toto asked. What flower grows in a hardware store? The shopkeeper greeted them. Welcome. Looking for anything specific? Treasure boxes, Ya Xiao said. The shopkeeper's eyes lit up. You've got taste. We carry everything, from ancient dragon relics to legendary staves. What's your budget? Ya Xiao smirked. Give me the most expensive ones. The man hesitated. Each one is 10,000 gold. I want them all, Ya Xiao said, and I'll open them here. The shopkeeper blinked. All of them? Yes. Box after box, Ya Xiao cracked them open. Items piled up. Rare materials, strange gear, odd trinkets, but not the flower. Finally, only one remained. He opened the last box, and inside was a crystal white bloom, glowing softly, mysterious, beautiful. He had found it. Ya Xiao rushed back to Lady Shirel's estate. Meanwhile, in her bath, Lady Shirel was speaking with her maid. Do you really think someone will find it? She asked. Liz smiled. With your fortune, you'll attract the right luck. Just then, another maid rushed in. A young man is outside. He says, he has the flower. Lady Shirel shot up in surprise, momentarily forgetting she was still undressed. She scrambled to get ready. Moments later, she stepped out to find a guard gesturing toward Ya Xiao. This is the one who brought it, and the guard said. Ya Xiao bowed, presenting the box. Lady Shirel opened it and gasped. You found it. Overwhelmed with joy, she looked at him with newfound admiration. You must let me reward you. Would you like money? A treasure? Ya Xiao shook his head. Neither. Oh? She smiled playfully. Then perhaps you want me? Flustered, he quickly waved his hands. No, you misunderstand. I only want your help. She raised an eyebrow. Help with? Official citizenship, he said. She burst into laughter. So formal. What a charming little rascal you are. Her affection for him rose noticeably. She called for a maid. Eliza, fetch the citizenship papers and my seal. Ya Xiao had one more request. I'd also like to purchase land in Windleaf City. He pulled out a map and pointed to a specific location. Lady Shirel frowned. The West District? That area's a bit deserted. Are you sure? Yes, he replied. I have my reasons, but I'll need help contacting the real estate agents. She smiled. Consider it done. As arrangements were made, Ya Xiao thanked her warmly. Toto, however, was unimpressed. Most people wouldn't dare invest in a crumbling neighborhood, but Yao wasn't like most. While others saw only ruins, he saw potential. So when To questioned why Yao would ignore the thriving East District in favor of the barren West, Yao just gave a knowing smile. To couldn't understand it. That place is basically deserted, you'll just lose money. But Yao calmly reassured him. He remembered everything from his past life. Windleaf City would soon be under siege by terrifying beasts. The East District, the current hotspot, would be the first to fall. The city lord himself would die trying to defend it. But the sparsely populated West? That district would remain standing, and eventually become the city's new heart. When the smoke cleared, the West would rise in value more than tenfold. This was Yao's chance to buy low and sell high. Toa couldn't argue with that logic. He just didn't understand how Yao knew so much. Soon after, Yao visited the governor's office to finalize the purchase. The contracts were ready. He had secured ownership of 340 homes and 184 business plots. The total value? Over 1.2 billion gold coins. And yet somehow he'd gotten it all for just 1 billion. Even Yao was shocked by how far his money stretched. Once the payment was processed, Lady Charles personally handed Yao his official documents. He beamed with excitement. Becoming a legal resident of Windleaf City felt surreal. But Lady Charlie corrected him with a smirk. He wasn't just a city resident. He was now a first-class citizen of the entire Dragon Phoenix Empire. Yao stood frozen. Did he hear that right? First-class citizenship? That status was nearly unreachable, even for warlords. To's jaw dropped beside him. You really hit the jackpot, he muttered. Curious, Yao turned to Lady Charles. Are you part of the royal family? She laughed, waving off the suggestion. Me? Royalty? Hardly. But her graceful aura made her nobility undeniable. Wanting to seize the moment, Yao asked if she had any connection to the royal beast tamer. To his surprise, Lady Charlie revealed that the royal beast tamer was actually her uncle. Why do you ask? She wondered. Yao admitted he wanted to learn more about beast taming. His sincerity made her cheeks flush slightly. She told him her Uncle Stir lived in the imperial capital, but he wasn't easy to deal with. Eccentric, unpredictable, hard to reach. Still, she promised to try getting in touch with him for Yao's sake. Grateful, Yao kissed her hand in thanks. Lady Charles' face turned bright red. "Please," she stammered. "Just call me Sophia from now on." A system notification popped up. Lady Sophia's favorability, +20. Moments later, another alert rang out. The system congratulated Yao for becoming a first-class citizen of the Dragon Phoenix Empire. His prestige rank was now unlocked. Players from the Great Sea region could now view his name on the leaderboard. And that wasn't all. Since Yao had purchased real estate, the regional housing system activated. As a result, all Great Sea players got an extra hour of playtime every day. The server exploded with excitement. To gawked. "Did you charm her or something?" he joked. Yao just chuckled and shrugged. Elsewhere, chaos erupted among the players. What was first-class citizenship? Real estate systems? Free playtime boosts? Many were stunned. Others felt bitter. "We're already nobodies in real life," someone groaned. "And now we're nobodies here too?" Meanwhile, two players, Yan Ren and Zhou Hong, were grinding goblins for XP when the broadcast hit. Ya Xiao reached level 11 and got first-class status already? Yan gasped. "That's insane." She frowned at his name, though. It sounded kind of ridiculous. "If only we had someone like that on our team," she sighed. "We'd be level 5 at least." But instead, they were barely managing to kill slimes. Her teammate wasn't having it. "Are you complaining? You don't even fight. You just follow us and collect rewards," he snapped. "If you're unhappy, leave." Zhou Hong quickly stepped in to calm things down. "It's just a misunderstanding," he said, trying to smooth over the tension. But Yan wasn't interested in apologies. "Fine," she snapped. "I'll leave." Her teammate scoffed. "Just because you're cute doesn't mean you're royalty." Zhou Hong looked torn. "How are we supposed to level now?" he asked Yan. She glared at him. "You said you'd help me, but when they insulted me, you stayed quiet. Do you even care about me?" He apologized quietly. Then he asked the question hanging in the air. "Did you ever contact Ya Xiao to help us?" Yan scoffed. "Why would I? He always contacts me first." Zhou pleaded. "I know you've got pride, but just this once, can you reach out? For us?" After a pause, Yan sighed. "Fine, I'll message him after I log off." Zhou brightened. "Great, I'll wait for good news." Once offline, Yan grabbed her phone. Despite his excessive spending, Yao still held a special place in her mind. Maybe he deserved a second chance. She texted him, telling him she was now playing Apocalypse and needed his help. "Buy some good cheese. Gear," she wrote, "and power level us. If you get me on the leaderboard, maybe I'll be your girlfriend." She hit send. 5 minutes passed. No reply. Then she checked again. Blocked. Yao had removed her from his friends list. Yan froze, staring at the screen. Then fury erupted. "How dare he delete me?" she screamed. "It's over. Even if he crawled back like a dog, I'd never forgive him." Back in the game, Yao and Toa were walking through Windleaf City's East District. Yao glanced around and commented that soon the West District would be just as developed. He'd come to appraise some gear, so he stepped into a shop. The owner glanced at his equipment. "Sorry, we only appraise silver grade and higher. Bronze gear has to go elsewhere." Yao reached into his inventory and pulled out a glowing item. "How about this?" he asked. The shopkeeper blinked. "Dark gold?" "You're kidding." He examined it closely. "Yep, it's legit. I'm a gold tier appraiser, so I've got an 80% success rate. But dark gold items? They'll cost you 100 gold each." Yao nodded and handed over the coins. "I've got a few more for you too." The shopkeeper's eyes widened. "This guy is rich," he muttered, scrambling to begin the appraisals. The first item was a deep blue crystal necklace. Night pendant, level 10, dark gold. Plus 40 spirit, plus 40 strength, to 20% dark element damage taken. The stats were incredible. Yao grinned. The rest of his items were just as impressive. He equipped what he could. After the upgrades, his base stats jumped. 142 strength, 99 constitution, 264 spirit, 110 agility. His special stats, 65 luck, 68 charm. Feeling stronger than ever, Yao looked over to Toa. The boy asked what their next move would be. Lady Sophia hadn't contacted them yet. Yao figured they might as well grind levels. "Let's head to Grey Mist Valley," he said. Soon they arrived. The air was thick with gray fog. Toe stopped in. His tracks. "The monsters here are level 20. You're only level 11. Are you insane?" Yao gave a calm nod. "I know." Just then, a pack of level 21 gray hyenas emerged from the mist. Corrupted by the fog, these beasts were savage and known to attack from behind. Yao didn't panic. He summoned Little Gray. The tiny dragon opened its mouth and blasted the entire pack with dragon breath. The monsters dropped instantly. While chaos raged around him, Yao calmly sipped a cup of tea. "High-level mobs are nice," he mused. "They come to us and Little Gray handles the rest." And so, for the next 2 hours, Little Gray continued to wipe out every monster that dared approach. In just a short time, Little Gray had reached level 12, and so had Yao. The constant wave of monsters made leveling feel almost effortless. At this pace, Yao estimated he could hit level 20 within just a few days. While checking the fallen loot, he spotted a beginner-tier fireball spell scroll. To chuckled, saying a beast tamer throwing fireballs was a strange sight, but Yao grinned and replied, "The more skills, the better." He quickly learned the fireball spell, which scaled at 150% of his spirit stat, had a 1-second cast time, consumed 50 MP, and had a 5-second cooldown. Eager to try it out, he fired it at a charging hyena, but the result was underwhelming. The spell barely scratched it, dealing just 31 damage. Puzzled, Yao questioned the low output. Toa burst out laughing, claiming even little Gray's farts would be deadlier. Yao rolled his eyes and checked the system clock. Only 2 hours remained until Doomsday's public launch on day 3. At that moment, every citizen of the Great Sea Kingdom aged 16 or older would be forcibly drawn into the game, triggering a global upheaval. Just as predicted, 2 hours later, dark clouds rolled across the skies of the real world. A radiant blue system window materialized before every eligible person, flashing a chilling message: Doomsday, entering game. People were bewildered, thinking it was some late-night prank, until they were pulled in. Some had been soaking in baths, others eating or chatting, when their realities twisted and they were dragged into the digital world. Among them were Yan and Zhou Hong. Yan, confused, asked how she had logged in automatically. Zhou explained he had just been sharing a snack with Wang Wan when everything changed. They looked around and saw crowds of people appearing all over. It was now undeniable. Doomsday had merged with reality. Zhou asked if Yan had messaged Yao about power leveling them. She scowled, saying she didn't care if he begged. She wanted nothing to do with him. Instead, she intended to charm the top-ranked player, Ya Xiao, into helping them. Zhou blinked. "You actually know the number 1 player?" "Not yet," Yan smiled, "but no man's ever resisted me." Suddenly, a system-wide broadcast echoed throughout the game. All citizens aged 16 and up had now entered Doomsday. Logging out was no longer possible. Their spawn points were based on real-world geography. Those close in life would start near each other in-game. Even more terrifying was the final message: if you die in the game, you die in real life. Panic set in. As fear took hold, players began discussing the one name everyone had seen during the beta, Ya Xiao. His rapid progress had stunned all. Some even thought he might be a game master. If anyone had answers, it would be him. Now, countless people vowed to find him, hoping he held the key to survival. Far away in Newbie Village 001, a towering figure known as Immovable Mountain stood atop a hill as a subordinate knelt before him. The man reported that they still hadn't discovered a way out. They might be trapped forever. Across the world, Yao and his group were already approaching Dragon Ridge, where the rumored Holy Spirit spring lay. To looked around, impressed. "This place doesn't feel like a dragon's nest. It's too peaceful." Dolores gave a grim smile. "That's exactly why it's dangerous. The calmer it looks, the worse it is." Yao nodded in agreement. The monsters here were level 80. Without Dolores' buff to suppress enemy levels, they had to be careful. If they made a wrong move now, they'd be surrounded from all sides. Heading for the labyrinth, Yao knew one thing: avoid unnecessary fights. That's when they saw it, a sprawling dragon city perched at the peak of the mountain. Dolores clutched her staff tighter. "Are you sure this is the right path to the labyrinth?" she asked nervously. "That dragon, it's tier 5. I don't want to end up as fried meat." Yao smirked. "Relax, it won't notice us." He led her along a sharp incline where a towering stone gate loomed, inscribed with glowing runes. Dolores examined the magical barrier, awestruck. "This formation? It's incredibly complex. No leftover energy trails. I doubt I can even open it." Yao didn't answer. He simply sliced his palm and let a few drops of blood fall onto the stone. "Wait, how do you know how to activate it?" she gasped. With a coy smile, Yao said, "I have my ways. Just follow me." Dolores stared at him, more confused than ever. This guy had way too many secrets. The moment Yao stepped through, a system alert echoed in his mind. "You've entered the dark cavern maze, a high-risk, eerie zone." A chill ran down his spine. Only one exit. If they didn't find it in time, they'd be sealed in forever. And the worst part? They had just 180 minutes to clear it. Yao frowned. 3 hours? That can't be right. It used to be 3 days. Something had changed. The world was different. Dolores, sensing his concern, said, "This might be even worse than fighting a tier 5 dragon. Are you sure you want to risk this?" He turned to her, calm and confident. "You're a god-tier sorcerer. Don't tell me a little maze scares you." "Ha! Scared? I'm an elder of the Supreme Hall," she scoffed. "This maze is child's play." "Glad to hear it," Yao replied. "By the way, do you know concealment magic?" "What? That low-level spell?" she sneered. "I didn't even bother learning it when I was a novice." Yao kept a straight face. "Don't be mad. I need you to hide our aura and presence." She rolled her eyes, snapped her fingers, and instantly cast a shadow phantom buff. The two of them faded into darkness like ghosts. Impressive, Yao murmured. Exactly what I expected from a top-tier mage. He whispered, there are 5 monsters ahead. 3 are level 60 crawlers, 1's an elite, and the last is level 80, all eerie types. Tread carefully. Dolores stared at him. Wait, how do you even know that? Yao grinned. He couldn't say it aloud, but in his past life, he'd cleared this maze over 800 times. Dolores muttered, just how much do you know? Before he could answer, 3 grotesque monsters appeared, blocking their path. We'll sneak past, Yao said. Step exactly where I do. Dolores rolled her eyes. I'm stronger than you. Don't act like my teacher. But as Yao tiptoed forward, weaving through traps and enemies without being detected, Dolores' expression changed. How did he do that? Even the level 60 elite didn't sense him. Silently, she copied his movements and made it through unscathed. For the first time, she admitted, all right, you're the master here. We're almost there, Yao whispered. Get ready. But when they reached the final room, Yao froze. The boss monster wasn't the one from his past. It was a yin spirit beast, berserk, level 100, and radiating eerie energy. Check its level, he said. Dolores cast a spell. Level 100. That's not just average, that's death. I'll grab the loot. You stay ready. Before moving, Dolores cast an absolute defense buff on him. You're not getting roasted on my watch. Yao turned to Toa. Don't do anything stupid like last time. Stay still. Toa huffed. I'm fine. Worry about yourself. Yao crept toward the treasure chest and cracked it open. Inside, he expected to find the hidden class scroll he remembered. But what he saw instead shocked him. It was completely different. At that moment, the boss sensed him and lunged. Frost shock! Dolores cried, freezing the beast mid-charge. Hurry! She yelled. I can't hold it long. Yao grabbed the loot and ran, but the monster broke free and charged. Dolores summoned a 5-point seal formation, locking the beast in place. Yao checked the treasure, an old parchment and a gleaming diamond-like gem. A heaven-rank cooldown stone? He whispered. I can reset any ability, no matter the rank. Incredible. Dolores asked, so, fight or flee? We fight, Yao grinned. Unleash your full strength. With a surge of mana, Dolores fired a thunderstrike, rocking the beast. Then something strange happened. It let out a chilling roar, not of pain, but of summoning. A blazing dragon tore through the dungeon ceiling, fire spilling everywhere. Run! Dolores screamed. We can't beat that thing. How can a yin beast summon a dragon? She cried. Yao joked. Maybe they're roommates. Shut up and run, Toh screamed. It's immune to slow and it's targeting you. Yao suddenly stopped. No use running. I have to kill it first. Dolores yelled. You're insane. You're level 12. He nodded. But this is the perfect time to test my power. Using the cooldown stone, Yao activated Brutal Chapter and launched a full power attack. The result? A pathetic 242 damage. That's it? He gasped. Then, something happened. The number began to rise. The small wound on the monster's chest widened, its body trembled, and then exploded. The yin beast was dead. What just happened? Yao muttered. System notification, enemy HP dropped below 20%. Forced instant death triggered. He had done it. The level 100 demonized boss was slain. A system alert appeared. You've leveled up 8 times. Current level 20. Even Little Gray, his beast companion, leveled up alongside him. Yao looked at his stats, stunned. I really hit the level cap. Ya Xiao stood there, stunned. Had he really just hit level 20 in one instant? Dolores was just as shocked. A level 12 newcomer had taken down a level 100 demonized boss solo. It was hard to believe. The system didn't stay quiet. A global announcement echoed. Player Ya Xiao from the Daxia zone has achieved the first kill of a level 100 demonized boss, Yin Beast. Reputation points, attributes, and a Warzone token were instantly added to his name. Chaos erupted across the world. Players were in disbelief. The game barely launched. How the hell did someone take down a level 100 boss already? This has to be broken, someone shouted. No one could pull that off, not unless he's not human. The reactions kept coming. Some players even dropped to their knees in-game, praising Ya Xiao like a god. Daddy Ya Xiao, I'm your loyal son now. But others weren't convinced. That guy must be cheating. No way a rookie can do that legit. An elderly player murmured. We thought we'd left Daxia behind in power, but now, could Ya Xiao be tied to the hidden forces running Doomsday? Back in the collapsing dungeon, Dolores yelled, Yao, move! The cave's about to come down! But Yao stood still. Wait, I haven't looted the chest yet. Dolores rolled her eyes, opening a portal. Forget the loot. You'll die here. Realizing time was short, Yao sighed. Fine, living takes priority. As they fled, Dolores chuckled. That was insane. I haven't done anything this wild in years. Yao laughed too. Thanks for the save. Without that portal, we'd be barbecue right now. Just when they thought they were safe, the sky above roared. The flame dragon from the dungeon reappeared and locked eyes with them. It breathed fire, forcing them into another desperate sprint. If I die, Dolores yelled mid-run, make sure you send me the Holy Spirit Spring location and my gold. Somehow they survived. Again. A short while later, in Fenya, the capital city, Yao met with Miss Sophia. He showed her a special scroll. Got this in the labyrinth. Is this what we needed? Sophia's eyes widened. You actually retrieved it? Unbelievable. Yao grinned. Easy job. But inside, he knew it had been anything but easy. Now that I have it, he asked, how do I unlock the hidden class? Sophia studied the scroll. Her expression shifted. This isn't your standard class transfer document, she said. What do you mean? Yao frowned. This isn't for changing your class, she explained. It's for awakening a unique, personalized one. According to my uncle, it's meant to draw out your deepest potential. She beckoned him to follow, leading him to a hidden room within the estate. Yao blinked. A secret chamber? This wasn't in my past life. Inside, a man awaited them. Welcome, Ya Xiao, the stranger greeted. I'm Stir, the royal beastmaster. I've been expecting you. Yao bowed respectfully. I came to unlock my hidden class. Stir looked curious. This method, I thought it had vanished from the world. He took the scroll in hand. Very well, I'll guide you. Are you ready? Yao smiled. I've waited too long for this. Stir nodded. This process will awaken your truest power. Stay calm, trust your energy, and follow its flow. Yao closed his eyes and did as instructed. Light swirled around him. Stir gasped. He's activating all 5 elemental crystals. Sophia turned to her uncle. Is this the supreme class awakening you mentioned? Stir was stunned. I only managed 3 during my own, but this man, he's pushing past human limits. Is he even human? Sophia felt awe building inside her. Just how powerful was this man really? Suddenly, a system message lit the room. Congratulations, Ya Xiao. You've completed the hidden class awakening. Whispers of the Dragon. Class changed to God-tier hidden class. Power surged through Ya Xiao's veins. He opened his status panel and nearly fell backward from shock. Stir stared in disbelief. The Beast God Master. It's real. Sophia was stunned. Isn't that just a myth? Yao's body buzzed with new strength. His class now granted 40 stat points per level. Even more, he had access to the Guardian set, a crafting blueprint that grew in power. But crafting it required rare ingredients and dangerous monster hunts. Yao bowed again. Thank you, Master Stir. Stir smiled. You've touched the divine now. Keep going. Toe chimed in, nodding. You're destined to rise. Yao whispered to himself, this lifetime, I'll reach the top. But first, he added aloud, I need to forge the Beast God's Claw. Elsewhere in the game, a group of players gathered at the entrance to the Abyss Trial. Inspired by Yao's success, they approached the Trial Guardian. We're here to take the Abyss Challenge, one declared. The Guardian examined them. Which difficulty? A player named Tiger Unleashed stepped forward. Solo. Abyss mode. The Guardian blinked. Another one? Soloing Abyss? Tiger grinned. I live for this. No regrets. His 2 teammates encouraged him and waited at the gate. Good luck! You've got this. Tiger gave them a thumbs up. I'll be back before you know it. The Guardian muttered, these outsiders really are built different. 5 minutes passed. Suddenly, Tiger burst out, battered and bloody. Medic! His friends rushed to help. What happened? Tiger wheezed. The monsters. They were mutated, way too strong to solo. His teammate handed him a potion. Guess not everyone's cut out for it. Meanwhile, far across the map, Ya Xiao arrived at the Great Rift, home of the level 20 Abyss Trial. He looked around and was surprised at how lively it was. People whispered non-stop. Who is Ya Xiao really? Is he cheating? How's he leveling this fast? Yao stayed silent. He wanted no attention, just peace. He sat in the grass and watched. While he rested, his pet, Little Gray, fought monsters nearby. Little Gray slashed with Dragon Claw, dealing over 2,300 damage and crushing a rock beast. 2 dark gold items dropped, the Shattering Hammer and a massive 2-handed rock greatsword. Yao walked over to collect them, but just then, a boss monster appeared before him. A colossal figure loomed before him. It was a level 20 Abyss Watcher, and worse, it carried the title of King. Ya Xiao's heart skipped a beat. A king-ranked boss? But, thankfully, it was only level 20. Without hesitation, he rushed in, gripping the newly acquired sword, and ordered Little Gray to strike. Meanwhile, back at the Abyss Trial entrance, Tiger Unleashed had failed his solo attempt. His teammates were stunned. How could this happen? One of them stammered. They had followed Ya Xiao's route exactly, but this failure suggested one thing. Ya must have used some unknown loophole. Just then, another worldwide system message lit up the skies. Player Ya Xiao of Grand Seiya Nation has cleared the level 20 Abyss trial, the first in history to do so. The reward included an epic tier Stone of Valor and one Grand Seiya Nation war point. Ya Xiao stood victorious over the king-ranked beast, but to his surprise, there was no fancy reward, just a single Abyss fragment. He frowned. That's the second time. The first boss dropped one too. He examined the glowing fragment. Are these pieces of some greater divine item? He stashed the shard in his inventory. No matter what, I'll solve this mystery eventually. He made his way back to town. Upon arrival, the city guards greeted him with cheers and handed him the promised reward, an epic-grade Stone of Valor. One guard explained, "This can be used to enhance your badge of bravery." Ya Xiao's eyes widened. "It's an enhancement item?" He wasted no time. Using the stone, he upgraded his badge. The result? A full evolution into a legendary badge with stats and effects that left him speechless. With this, even level 30 zones will feel like beginner areas. Just as he was about to head out again, a new alert appeared. Scheduled maintenance incoming. Logging out soon. He froze. Wait, what? Are we going back to the real world? Players across the globe received the same message. Cheers echoed as people prepared to finally reunite with their families. One by one, avatars vanished. Logout began. Back in the real world, Yao jolted awake in his room. He turned on the TV, flipping through news channels. The screen was filled with coverage of the game. A reporter explained, following Daxia, now the United States has also fallen victim to the apocalypse phenomenon. Experts speculated that the game would soon consume the entire planet. Falling asleep meant being pulled into the game. Humanity was officially under siege. Suddenly, a breaking report surfaced. A player named Mang Hu Chulong had died both in-game and in reality. The news sent shivers down viewers' spines. How dangerous! Is this trial really? They asked. To investigate further, a leading station invited top player Qing Fong for a live interview. Qing Fong had just completed the hard difficulty advancement trial with his team. The host asked him, "Will you also speak about whether dying in-game affects the real world?" To Ya Xiao, the name Qing Fong was unfamiliar. Still, he was curious. The interviewer pressed, as one of the only players to complete a trial besides Ya Xiao, "How do you feel?" Qing Fong replied modestly, "I didn't do it alone. My team carried me. I was lucky." Next, the host asked about the strange sleep-triggered game transport. Qing Fong responded, "There's still no scientific explanation, but survival in this world is far more complex than people think." Finally, the host posed the big question. "Ya Xiao, he's cleared the Abyss trial twice now. What's your take?" Qing Fong didn't hesitate. "Let's be real. I'm not even close to Ya Xiao's level. Even if every top player on the leaderboard teamed up, I doubt we'd beat him." Elsewhere, in a quiet penthouse, a man in a white suit listened to the interview. Eyes narrowing, he whispered, "If I could get Ya Xiao on my side, I'd own this world." He turned to his butler. "Find him. Use any resource necessary. I want everything on him. Now." Back in his own home, Ya Xiao leaned back, thinking about what had just happened. Forced log out, maintenance mode, everyone kicked from the server. "So now," he muttered, "we can only re-enter by falling asleep." He took a breath. "That's slower than last time," which actually works in my favor. In his past life, things had escalated too quickly. This time, the pace gave him an edge. For Beast Tamers, level 30 was key. That's when the second beast slot unlocks. I just need to hit 30, one step at a time. Without wasting another second, Yao lay down, closed his eyes, and re-entered the world of Apocalypse. This time, he spawned directly in the Grey Mist Valley, a level 30 area. He summoned Little Grey beside him and got to work. The beast used a stunning roar to immobilize the nearby monsters, then followed up with a flame burst, incinerating them on the spot. Both Yao and Little Grey leveled up again, now at level 24. "Insane leveling speed," Yao whispered, watching the EXP bar rise. Meanwhile, in Hindi Town, players were staring at the leaderboard in disbelief. "His level rose again?" someone gasped. "He's more than double the second-place rank now." Even Qing Fong was shocked. "I thought progression would slow down after 20. Other players should have started catching up, but instead the gap just keeps widening." One of his allies chimed in. "We were never competing with him in the first place. At this point, he's just playing a different game." "Second place isn't so bad," another teammate added. "We've still got spots 3 through 6 locked down. And that's something worth being proud of." Elsewhere, in Beginner Village number 9527, nestled near the Dragon's Nest, two ancient dragons were deep in conversation. One was the Glorious Dragon, the other the Fire Dragon. The Fire Dragon grumbled, "The egg's been missing for days, and you're just lounging here in the shadows? As the Dragon Prophet, our future rests with you." The Glorious Dragon replied calmly, "Can't you sense it? That human, he carries the scent the gods fear." The Fire Dragon narrowed his eyes. "The gods you hate so much? You still believe in that nonsense? How could a mere insect like him carry such divine weight?" The Glorious Dragon answered firmly, I am the prophet. I've seen Bay on this age, and that's why I'm entrusting our destiny to that mortal. The fire dragon roared in frustration. You're insane! But the glorious dragon's tone was final. We don't have time left. Act now, or we lose everything. That's all for today, everyone. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. See you all in the next one.